Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, talking on my balcony, and I'm very excited because today my mom got to meet for the first time in years Moist Andy. Joseph Shanu. Whoa, there's a big spider here. Alright, gotta make sure I kill this thing. Damn, got bug spray in the bathroom. Okay. Got it. So Joseph was staying in a hotel in Northern Virginia. Joseph, Moist Andy, the golden child of Virginia, the prophet, the greatest thing to come out of Virginia. He's been living in his car for at least a month, I think. I don't know how long. Time goes quickly when you're living in your car, or when you're watching someone live in their car. He was kicked out by his dad. His dad was drunk apparently, and they got in an argument. And so Joseph's been having the time of his life, being out on his own, learning new places, traveling around. He went to Ohio, he went to Pennsylvania. He's eating it up. He's washing his laundry in bathtubs and stomping on the clothes with his boots. And today, and my mom's wanted to go to dinner with him for a while, but they could never work out the timing. And my mom was at a Greek festival today, and I told Joseph, hey, you should go see her. And he's like, oh yeah, I need to go ASAP. Like my Greek neighbor showed me there once, and it's been a while. And he immediately went straight over, and through some very contentious calls with my mom, trying to figure out where she was there so I could tell Joseph on Instagram, because Joseph's phone doesn't seem to work. After like 10 of those calls, not that many, but like 5 of them, something like that, finally Joseph found her and they filmed videos together. So check it out. I'm so glad. I'm so excited because, you know, I want Joseph to have good connections with people and stay connected to me and my mom. I mean, Joseph and I talk every day, but you know, for him to see my mom and for my mom to get to see, you know, a friend out there, and it looks like they had a great time, and Joseph was happy. He filmed, and he had a big lamb gyro, or for some reason my mom calls them gyros, and I didn't know people call them gyros or heroes even, but I never knew, like growing up, that they were called that, because my mom, even though she's from Greece, apparently gyro is the wrong name, but whatever. I re-injured my ribs today. They're not as bad as like the first day I injured them, but on this very balcony, I was sitting here and something came up behind me and I fucking jumped and twisted and hurt my ribs again. Not horribly. I wasn't like gasping for air. It was a squirrel running right along here, and it ran up the side of the building. But I didn't know what it was. I literally thought like maybe a person was climbing up the balcony. So now my ribs are hurting. It's been a wild week. Had some, you know, let's say interpersonal frustrations. My roommate, she flipped out again over something. Who knows what? Really, who knows? I don't know. Because, first of all, I was dead tired and asleep. I went to sleep at like 7 o'clock. It was last night. And I woke up and I heard her, like I wasn't even sure what I was hearing. And it was mid-argument, her and my other roommate trying to calm her down. And I wasn't like, my heart, you know, was got my, I could feel my heart kind of pounding because I was dehydrated, and it's hard for me to get out of bed, you know, now with my injured ribs. So I was like, you know, my roommate's handling it. He was laughing like while he was talking to her, and she was saying all this other garbage. Sounded like she was making fun of me for something. Whatever. She calling me 50 years old, which whatever, and saying I live out of cans, or I eat out of cans. So I don't know what was going on. It's funny. I could hear my roommate defending me, like, I give it to him. He cleans up after himself. Like he was literally saying that, and then she was saying some really nasty stuff, you know, and about me. And it's funny. My roommate, he's like, I don't know about that. I don't believe that. He's like, I don't know if I believe that. But She makes up what the hell is something on my nose? No, I don't know. I have to watch. Sorry, but for whatever happened, again, I'm like half awake during this, so it was over within probably 3 or 4 minutes. I didn't fall asleep for like another 2 hours or so. I was just lying there, like I was kind of resting in a way, but anyways. And then at some point later, I don't know if I was passing in and out of consciousness or what. She just comes back, like she went out, I guess, out of the apartment, and she came back and she was just laughing. Oh, and I remember my other roommate and one of the new roommates. So I have two new roommates now. A guy moved in the hall across from me. Um, the other guy who lived there with the girlfriend who would take my stuff, and this guy would just cough like a mofo and gag and make weird noises. There were no sounds from his room for like a week or in 2 weeks, and I was like, huh, like how come I haven't heard him in a while? And it turned out he moved out. So we got another guy there. We got another guy finally in the crypto guy's room who was addicted to cocaine. And both those guys are great. They're super cool. So really glad for that. Yeah, really, really cool people. Like just down to earth. I mean, I don't know them. You know, I just crossed by, but like that's all I need. It's just like, hey, we're all about our thing. That's it. No worries. Um, My bike had a flat tire this morning. I wanted to ride to the park so bad, but didn't matter because I was like, okay, I can't ride my bike. I stayed here. I installed the water filter finally on my sink. It's awesome. The water's much better now, quality. And it only took like a few minutes to install. I had to wait for these like adapter brass like adapters because the cold water line, the threading, and the like ring wasn't the right size to screw into the water filter. So the water filter company, they sent me free some. It's Kuzin or Cousin Cuzn 200 water filter. Wasn't too expensive. It gets good reviews, and people say I mean, it's supposed to last a long time, like 5 years. So, anyways, it was great. You just got to run the water like 10 minutes to get all the like charcoal sort of stuff out of it, and then you have clear water. So. That's really cool. I'm really glad for that because this water always tasted messed up. Who knows what's in it? I was loving walking around LA tonight. So this week's been a big week of writing. Now I'm coming up on my last week of my what's going to be a series of writing classes that I've been basically like started about a year ago, and it's going to go about another I think 10 months or 11 months. And it's funny. I'm really Jesus, kid's screaming. I'm really like having to learn like how to do stuff very, very specific in writing. Because if you're a little off in your writing, it's totally off. It may as well not be working. It's like, yeah, okay, appreciate the effort, appreciate this person has potential and talent, but that's not good enough for an audience. So we're really training hard, and I'm really going after it and just getting my mind right about it. That's been tricky because of stuff like the roommate flipping out. It's just so disturbing to hear someone just screaming like a maniac. Late at night, and I haven't said a word to her in months, and she's terrorized us before, and we've had the police here because like a neighbor called the cops or something when she was just screaming like a maniac for an hour, and even when the cops were here she was threatening to kill the cocaine addicted roommate. Anyways, just a nightmare scenario. And then she hit on me again after that. She did before months ago, and then she did after that. I was sitting right here when she did it. She was like, hey babe, and I said, don't. Like I couldn't even get out the rest of that sentence. It would have like I was just I couldn't fathom like words at that point. Like you think like I want to hear what the it wasn't even a question of whether you should do that. Absolutely not. Anyways, so that and yeah, riding, gained a little weight now that I can't ride my bike as much and as intensely, but I should be eating better. So I'm experimenting with intermittent fasting. We'll see how that goes. And oh, I wanted to see a movie, so I finally went out and saw a movie today. New David Cronenberg movie, Crimes of the Future, whatever. Holy shit. Is that movie a mindfuck? Holy shit. That audience and I were just sitting there like, what are we watching? It is like Cronenberg back to body horror, and the most masochistic, lurid close-ups of viscera and nastiness and people indulging in, I haven't seen Crash. So there's the Paul Haggis movie, but there's a David Cronenberg Crash that probably less people know about, but I know about the movie. And if you know about the premise of the movie, this movie has similar, very, very similar ideas. I'm like, holy crap, is there a filmmaker in the world making stuff like this? So, I love the experience. It pushed up to the edge of what I can tolerate in a way, but I'm like, this is absolutely fascinating. I don't know, what to think, but like, it's absolutely fascinating. And bizarre and just surreal. I was seriously like, what am I watching? It's just hard to describe, and I'm not like squeamish at all. Like, and it didn't feel like, there was a lot to think about, even though it was kind of, I don't know. I'm not a critic, so it doesn't matter what my opinion is. But I'm saying it's cool that there's interesting filmmakers who make stuff that's thought provoking. Regardless of, did it land for you in all the ways you wanted to? Did the story line up, the way you wanted? It's like, it was very, very provocative, and like it was sort of satisfying to have something to think about. Like I said, even though it was at time, I don't know, I didn't know what to think sometimes, but I'm glad I saw it. Some movies I regret seeing. I'm like, that made me mad. It was so bad. It was such a waste of my time. This, I did not feel that at all. Even though, man, like, and here's the other thing. I was starting to get tired by the end of it. I'm like, oh boy, like, if I start like fading out, I didn't start falling asleep. I've done that before. Like, I saw David Lynch's Dune. That's another, you can call it a mindfuck, but not for the reasons Crimes of the Future was. That was kind of a mindfuck for just how utterly nonsensical it was and how I couldn't understand what was happening. And I saw it at the $1 Million Theater in downtown LA, and I kept falling asleep. I was so tired. I would have fallen asleep during any movie, if for that matter. It wasn't specifically because it was boring, and it was actually hurting the experience for me, because I'm like, I don't want to sleep in a theater, but I was just so dead tired. And it's not fun falling asleep, waking up, and I can't fall asleep. I'm too uncomfortable. I'm waking up because of the sound of the picture. But anyways, I started feeling that, but I didn't fall asleep. But it was just getting to be a surreal experience. But it's nice to see a director just go nuts. And Viggo Mortensen, Leia Seydoux, and Kristen Stewart just chopping it up, having fun. And so I'm glad I saw that. Got out, came back to my neighborhood, and I was so inspired, I just wanted to walk around. I walked up and down Wilshire Boulevard, or is it Wilshire Street? No, Wilshire Avenue? Wilshire Boulevard, right? And it was so awesome just walking up and down the street there, because I'm like, damn, this is in my neighborhood. And it's just so awesome having such a big city around me. What was not awesome, I didn't realize how dimly lit the streets are. It's actually, I'm like, this should be like considered a hazard by the city. This is like subpar infrastructure to not have proper lighting. Like, I saw kids playing out in the street, and thank goodness it seemed like they were having fun and stuff. I'm like, dude, these kids are playing out on this street. I mean, most everyone on the street seemed nice, but I'm like, this is not a little neighborhood. This is not a little, small, single family home lined street. This wasn't even apartments. This was a like big cityscape that didn't seem like a playground. But anyways, man, it was weird seeing that. And they were playing on these skateboards, sliding around on these skateboards. The wheels were lit up. But anyways, yeah, it was inspiring to just walk around. It was awesome. I was taking pictures of the area. I'm like, this is so cool, man. This is my dream. I forget I'm around here sometimes because so much of my life is going to my job and seeing the halls and the offices there, and then my apartment and the grocery store, which is fine. It's not, I still love it here. But I'm like, oh, that's awesome. When I get really my own place or whatever, I want it to be in the city, not just like here, like a few blocks from it. I want to be right there, probably. I'll still have to decide, but I just loved it. And I wish it was more bike friendly and walkable and all that. But anyways, so it was great fun seeing Moist Andy's videos with my mom. Go to Moist Andy's channel, check him out. He's getting new subscribers. He's going to get to a lot more subscribers, and he's discovering his, like all the different things he can do while he's living in his car. And it's really great to see him just learning new stuff, discovering. It's like finally he's like branching out, because when he was living with his parents, it's like there wasn't much to try as far as that goes. He had what he needed right there. And so it's good to see, even though there are challenges of living in your car. And he's doing it in Northern Virginia where I did it. And in some ways it's harder than doing it in LA. For one thing, the weather is more hostile in many ways because it rains. So you can't leave your windows open if it's hot. And it's a lot more humid and a lot hotter at night. So that's hard to deal with when you're trying to sleep. At least when it's cold, you can get in a sleeping bag, a sub-zero sleeping bag. But when it's hot, man, that is brutal. So anyways, it was great to see that. My mom was so thrilled to see Joseph. So go to Moist Andy's channel. Just look it up, Moist Andy on YouTube, and find his channel. Subscribe to him if you haven't. Look at the videos with my mom at the Greek festival. I'm so glad Joseph went to that and just got to go experience something, with people around. And I hope to see more of that. All right, everyone. It's past my bedtime, but I had to do this. I had to make a video update. And I'm also, even with my rib injury, I've been able to work out again. I'm just having to do certain workouts. Like I can do bicep curls like this, but I cannot do them like this with my the back of my hand up, because that aggravates my ribs. But this way I can do it with my exercise cord. So thank goodness I'm at least able to keep exercising. That helps keep my head straight. And I'm doing lots of writing. This is my last week of class, and then in like 2 weeks we start the next one. So thanks for watching, everyone.